Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, and I really didn't want to do this. First of all, this is going to be a pro wrestling rant for the most part, but for my pro wrestling friends as well, Havelock International Film Festival, Disregard the Vampire, Mike Messier documentary wins a special jury award for Best Documentary Short Film. So if you haven't watched it by now, which you likely have, but if you watch it if you want. It's Disregard the Vampire, Mike Messier documentary. That's the 11th award. But now I have some pro wrestling business to take care of. This is a pro wrestling rant, and I'm a little upset. I'm a little pissed, and I just don't know where to begin with my anger. But something that's been in my craw for a couple of weeks. A couple of my Twitter buddies, good guys, Johnny Z and Kevin Castle, really have no appreciation or respect for Barry Windham or Arn Anderson. One of those two gentlemen, I'm getting them blurred now, but they were basically trying to imply, I think it was Kevin Castle, that Barry Windham and Arn Anderson would have been opening match fodder, opening match talents, if it were not for Ric Flair and the rub from Ric Flair. And I just really hate to see such ignorance from guys that I do appreciate. Barry Windham was one half of the U.S. Express with Mike Rotundo. They were actually two-time WWF Tag Team Champions, away from the safety and security of the NWA, away from the territories in Vince's circus in the 1985, 84, 85 range. They defended the WWF Tag Team title unsuccessfully against Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik. It was considered a big upset when Volkov and Sheik used the dreaded cane of classy Freddie Blassie. They regained the titles from Sheik and Volkov, and then they lost them again to Valentine and Beefcake, and then Windham went back to the NWA, and Rotundo stuck around, and they shoehorned Big Danny Spivey into the tag team with Rotundo and blah, 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 blah. But to imply that not only Barry Windham, who also, and for some reason, I think it's Kevin Castle likes to bring up these stalker era of the Barry Windham, mid-90s in the WWF. That's not Barry Windham's fault that the morons in Titan Tower don't know how to use him properly. Barry Windham was a highly successful NWA World Champion for about 5 or 6 months. In early 1993, defeated the Great Muta at Super Brawl 3 in Asheville, North Carolina, and then defended the title all the way until Beach Blast 93 when he lost it to Ric Flair, and also had a great match against, guess who, Arn Anderson at Slamboree 93. So if you watch that Slamboree 93 match, gentlemen, which have you watched that? Have you watched Arn Anderson versus Barry Windham at Slamboree 93? Then you'd see both of these gentlemen, world-class athletes. I'm not going to say that they would have main evented Starrcade every year, but to imply that they were somehow on the, and no offense to these gentlemen, but SD Jones level of opening match status, I mean, come on. It's just absurd, and it's insulting more to you. It's more of an insult to you, gentlemen, to make those assertions than for them. It's just ridiculous. Other complaints. I see a gentleman, I just had to let it go. A gentleman had like some type of Mickey James shrine in his home. Mickey James, the female wrestler, the married to Nick Aldis, and good for them. And I'm a Mickey James fan as well. I've got nothing against Mickey James. As a matter of fact, I saw her once wrestle Maria Kanellis, of all people, in a women's match in Fall River, Massachusetts, when they were both not working for the WWE, just kind of an independent show, a fundraiser show, I believe. Nice match. Mickey James is a great talent. And this gentleman made the assertion in a tweet that Mickey James wrestled in the first women's match of, how did he say it, significance? First women's match of significance at a WrestleMania was Mickey James versus Trish Stratus, and I would totally disagree with that. That's an out-and-out misinformation. The first women's match of significance at any WrestleMania was right at WrestleMania 1. Leilani Kai versus Wendy Richter. Now, I responded in such, and the gentleman, of course, like many wrestling fans, don't want to admit that when they're incorrect or wrong or taken to task for misinformation that they're spreading. And he gets all very defensive and says, it's my opinion. No, your opinion is wrong. Your opinion was stated as a fact, and it's an incorrect statement. That's why I get so upset with these wrestling fans, because they always make these goddamn statements which are wrong, and then they say it's just my opinion. No. I didn't want to say asshole, but I'm just pointing out that you're fucking wrong. It's not. It's obviously it's a fucking world women's title match, Lalani Kai defending, and obviously if the title changes hands, and obviously if Cyndi Lauper's in the goddamn corner and Fabulous Moolah, for what it's worth, is in Lalani Kai's corner, obvious fuckingly that has some goddamn significance, okay? So I'm just dealing with idiots all the fucking time, and I guess some asshole waved the flag that this is now WrestleMania week, and so now it's a whole goddamn week, and I'm just gonna have to tolerate this parade of morons for the whole week. Or moronic statements. I don't want to say that the individual was a moron, and I appreciate that he's got a fucking Mickie James shrine, but to pass off incorrect statements, I don't want to say lies, but lies, as my opinion, bro, I don't fucking get it. And then his whole retort was, hey man, you're messing up my WrestleMania vibe, at which point I just fucking tap the fuck out. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you can't defend your fucking false information, and when someone like myself kindly proves out that you're providing false information, I just feel like I'm dealing with people that are ignorant and they want to remain ignorant, which upsets me. Okay, what else? All right. This one's going to get into the crevices a little bit. Here's the thing, folks. It might be a whole other goddamn rant, but I'm just going to do it now. It's this AEW ticket thing. I've been going to the AEW shows, and people are just not getting this. Like, if you want to if you want to go to the fucking Dynamite shows or the AEW house shows, you have to go through a little bit of a song and a fucking dance, and you can't just fucking, I'll buy a ticket when I get there. It's not working that way, assholes. You have to fucking order the ticket in advance. So I have these friends, and they're good guys, but it's like they think it's 1998 and you're going to the Clippers game in LA and you can just go up to the fucking box office and buy a ticket at the last minute. Or you're going to a movie theater in 2005. Hey, let me have a ticket for Star Wars Phantom Menace. Oh, great. It's not that simple anymore. You have to fucking order online. You have to get your ticket in advance. It's a process. You have to get the fucking app. And a friend of mine, a good gentleman, is coming here to Florida and wanted to go to the goddamn show. And I said, okay, but you got to get your goddamn ticket in advance. And he said, here's the thing. People say, gee whiz, Mike, why don't you buy him a fucking ticket? Here's the goddamn thing. I've been through this my whole fucking life of buying tickets for people or buying an extra ticket, and assholes don't show up. Or they don't want to fucking pay, or they want to pay for the ticket price, but they don't want to pay the fucking ticket charges. So I'm just done with buying people tickets because they just fuck you in the asshole, and they always expect you to figure it out. Like, just ask all these other assholes to go. So I don't buy tickets for people anymore. They can buy their own fucking ticket. But if I provide you the goddamn information, the fucking link to buy the ticket, then buy the ticket. Don't sit on your dick and watch as the tickets go away, because someone else will buy them. So it's not the good old fucking days. This is not an Aerosmith concert in 1975 in fucking Detroit, where you can just buy a ticket and walk out and sit on the lawn. Everything is complicated now. This COVID thing is not new. Everything's a goddamn pain in the ass. So I just get frustrated with people. You provide the fucking water and they don't drink like a goddamn horse. I just get upset. So there you have it. Those are my gripes. Do I have other complaints? I told you about the Tully Blanchard fucking thing. Tully Blanchard last wrestled in 1998, not in 1989, as misreported by Wrestle Talk, as misreported by goddamn AEW. I'm just sick of people who are liberal with facts, and not in a political liberal way. Facts mean nothing to people anymore. So get your fucking facts straight. Just facts. If you want a ticket, you buy your ticket. You don't hold your dick and wait forever. You buy it quickly. So that's Mike Messier. Very animated, very upset. People continuing to disappoint me, to upset me. Things always upsetting me. People with no respect for Barry Windham or Arn Anderson. People with little respect for Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper. Would there even be a WrestleMania 1 up to WrestleMania 37 without Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter and Leilani Kai and Fabulous Moolah? Probably not. But these people, they don't do their history. They don't do the research. So they make up lies and they taint things to favor their own fucking memories. Well, I, in the mean fucking time, do the goddamn research. Get the full fucking story straight and teach you and educate you, the Mike Messier YouTube audience, about the difference between facts and fucking opinions. So subscribe to all the fucking videos, like everything I do, and that's it. I'm just very disappointed and upset. And this WrestleMania week is going to be a pain in my fucking ass.